Please proceed, Ms. Starks.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tanika Starks, and I'm an Assistant Attorney General for the Louisiana Department of Justice, and I'll be presiding over today's administrative proceedings. I would only administer oaths and evidence. However, the board will make all findings of facts, inclusion of law. All that means is they will make the final decision on the matters. Can we please silence all cell phones at this time? Thank you.
Okay, we have consideration of September 17, 2025 Residential Board Subcommittee meeting minutes. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So the motion passed. Mr. Beavers.
Good morning. If we could begin as usual, swearing in all the staff and investigators. Sue McCartney, Joe Anderson, Jared Watson, Lonnie Lusko, Todd Eatman, Stephanie Belanger, Frank Vaughn, David Ham, Kerry Morgan, and myself.
Can you all raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Ready.
Okay, we have any public comment? Somebody talk to that man. I think we have some people here who can help you out, sir. With that, Ms. Morgan.
Summit Builders, LLC, or any representatives present?
Let the record reflect no one is present. On behalf of Summit Builders, LLC.
Summit Builders, LLC of Terrytown, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for abandoning or failing to perform without justification any contract or project or deviating from plans without consent of the owner at 88 Woodlake Boulevard, Kenner, Louisiana, in the amount of $75,505.
Call Susan McCartney.
Ms. McCartney has been sworn.
Ms. McCartney, in front of you are exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular and ordinary course of business of the Licensed Board for Contractors for this matter?
Yes, sir.
We offer those exhibits into the record.
Exhibits are admitted.
Ms. McCartney, according to the records, it appears that Summit Builders LLC was provided with notice of its violation and of this hearing date by certified mail. Is that correct?
That's correct.
It also shows that Summit Builders engaged in contracting for the installation of a swimming pool. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And they did not possess licensing with this board to perform that work. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And that was on a residential construction project. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And the total amount of that work was $75,505 as indicated by their proposal at page 11 of that and Exhibit 2B. Is that correct?
That's correct.
We submit to the board that Summit Builders LLC is in violation of Louisiana contractors licensing laws for failure to possess the necessary licensing to perform work on a residential project in the amount of $75,505. As you find them guilty of the violation, issue the appropriate fines and costs.
Move to find guilty, maximum fine of $7,550 without no hearing costs. Susan decision.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So the motion carried.
Master Builder and Renovation, LLC, or any representatives present?
Let the record reflect that no one is present. On behalf of Master Builders and Renovation, LLC.
Master Builders and Renovation, LLC of Kenner, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for permitting the contractor's license to be used by an unlicensed contractor at 5519 Wingate Drive, New Orleans, Louisiana, in the amount of $256,200.
Call Joe Anderson.
Mr. Anderson has been sworn.
Mr. Anderson, in front of you are exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular and ordinary course of business of Licensed Board for Contractors for this matter?
They were.
We'll offer the exhibits into the record.
Exhibits are admitted.
Mr. Anderson, according to the documents, it appears that Master Builders and Renovation LLC was provided with notice of its violation and of this hearing date by email service. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And that was to the email address as provided to the Licensing Board for Contractors for this licensed contractor. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Also shows that Master Builders and Renovation LLC pulled a permit for the project at issue. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And did not perform work on that project. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And allowed another contractor. Was that Unique Swamp Construction? to use their license to perform the construction work. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And as indicated at Exhibit 2B, the total value of that contract was $256,200. Is that correct?
That's correct.
We submit to the board that Master Builders and Renovation LLC is in violation of Louisiana contractors licensing laws by allowing a non-licensed contractor to use its license in performing residential construction work in the amount of $256,200. As such, you find him guilty and issue the appropriate fines and costs.
Move to find him guilty, maximum fine of $25,620, $1,000 hearing costs, cease and desist.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Show the motion carried.
Unique Swamp Construction LLC, are any representatives present?
Let the record reflect, no one is present on behalf of Unique Swamp Construction LLC.
Unique Swamp Construction LLC of Metairie, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for acting as a contractor to perform work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License at 5519 Wingate Drive, New Orleans, Louisiana, in the amount of $256,200.
Call Joseph Anderson.
Ms. Anderson has been sworn.
Mr. Anderson, in front of you, exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in a regular and ordinary course of business of licensing board for contractors for this matter?
They were.
We'll offer the exhibits into the record.
Exhibits are admitted.
Mr. Anderson, according to the exhibits at exhibit number 4, it appears that Unique Swamp and Construction LLC was provided with notice of its violation and of this hearing date by certified mail. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Also shows that Unique Swamp Construction LLC engaged in residential construction without a license. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And the total value of that project was $256,200 as indicated at page 13, Exhibit 2B of the exhibit packet. Is that correct?
That's correct.
We submit to the board that Unique Swamp Construction LLC is in violation of Louisiana contractors licensing laws for failure to possess a license with this board to perform residential construction work in the amount of $256,200. As that you find him guilty of the violation, issue the appropriate fines and costs.
Move to find him guilty, maximum fine of $25,620, $1,000 hearing costs, cease and desist.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Show the motion carried.
Tailor Made Contractors LLC, are any representatives present?
Let the record reflect, no one is present on behalf of Tailor Made Contractors LLC.
Tailor Made Contractors LLC of Gonzales, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of alleged violations for providing an insured with an agreement authorizing repairs without providing a good faith estimate, and for acting as a contractor to perform work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License at 18746 Montclair Court, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in the amount of $70,434.43.
Call Jared Watson.
Mr. Watson has been sworn.
Mr. Watson, in front of you, exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in a regular and ordinary course of business of the licensing board for contractors for this matter?
Yes, they were.
We'll offer the exhibits into the record.
Exhibits are admitted.
Mr. Watson, according to Exhibit 4, it appears that there was notice provided to Tailor Made Roofing of its violation by certified mail. Is that correct?
That's correct.
There's also communication with Tailor Made contractors, that of this hearing date by email as well. Is that correct?
That's correct.
It also shows that Tailor Made engaged in performing roofing work. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And the total amount of that work was $70,434.43. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And at the time did not possess licensing with this board to perform that residential construction work. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And also it shows that when they performed the work, they did not provide an estimate, a good faith estimate of the work. Is that correct?
That's correct.
As indicated at Exhibit 2B. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Submit to the board that Tailor Made Contractors LLC is in violation of Louisiana contractors licensing laws for failure to provide proper good faith estimate prior to performing work on a residential construction roofing job, and also failing to possess necessary licensing with this board to perform that work in the amount of $70,434.43. Ask that you find him guilty of the violation, issue the appropriate fines and costs.
Move to find him guilty, maximum fine of $7,043.44, $1,000 hearing costs, cease and desist.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Show the motion carries.
Lanciani Builders LLC, are any representatives present?
Sir, can you state your name and your affiliation with the company? Yes, sir.
First of all, thank you. Secondly, I do have a hearing impairment, so if I ask you to repeat, please excuse me. My name is Larry Francione, and I'm here today representing...
Sir, we'll allow you to speak and make your statement, but I just need your name at this point.
Just my name?
Yes, sir.
Lawrence Larry Francione.
Lawrence Francione. Mr.
Yes.
Francione, can you raise your right hand for me?
I'm sorry.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
And Ms. Starks, he did indicate that he's qualified to speak on behalf of the company.
Mr. Francione, and what's your affiliation with the company?
I am representing Francione Builders LLC as both the qualifying party and the manager of the company. I'm also appearing as the president of Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation.
Okay, and you're qualified to speak on behalf of the company?
I am.
Okay,
And those are
thank
going to
you.
be two separate cases, let the record reflect. We have two different matters. All right. Thank you.
Francione Builders LLC of New Orleans, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for failure to bid, contract, and perform work in the name as it appears on the current license in the official records of the State Licensing Board for Contractors at 11 South Park Place, New Orleans, Louisiana, in the amount of $183,750.
And Mr. Francione, how would you like to plead to the alleged violation?
Not guilty.
Okay.
I do have a question.
Okay, what's your question?
Since I wasn't hearing very well, when the evidence is being provided by the State Contractors Licensing Board, if I disagree with some of the answers, do I object at that point, or do I wait for a statement after?
You can object, and then I'll make a ruling on your objection.
Thank you.
And if the objection is overruled, then I'll say overruled. If not, then I'll continue to let him present that evidence.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Call Lonnie Lusko.
So Lesko has been sworn.
Mr. Lusko, in front of you are exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4, were they prepared in the regular and ordinary course of business of Licensing Board for Contractors for this matter?
Yes, sir.
We offer the exhibits into the record.
Mr. Francione, have you had a chance to look at the documents that he's referring to?
I'm so very sorry.
I'm sorry. Have you had a chance to review the documents that council's referring to? It's this packet here.
Yes.
Do you have any objection to the documents being entered into the record?
No.
No objection. The exhibits are admitted.
Mr. Lusko, according to the records, it appears that Francione Builders LLC entered into an agreement to perform work on a residential construction project. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that is as shown at Exhibit 2B. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
During the course of that project, as indicated through that contract, were checks issued to the subcontractors on the project?
Yes, sir.
And who issued the checks?
The checks were issued through Louisiana Home and Development Corporation to the various contractors, which were all licensed.
Okay, so the subcontractors were licensed, but Louisiana, what I see is Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation, which is at Exhibit 2C, actually issued the checks for the construction on the project?
Yes, and that company was not licensed.
Okay. And so the charge here for Francione Builders LLC against Francione Builders is based on the fact that Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation issued checks and was not a licensed contractor. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And so the position is, from the staff's position, is that Francione Builders LLC was contracting outside of its licensed name, in that Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation was issuing checks for the construction of that residential project. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And is, according to your investigation, does Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation have a contractor's license to perform work on a residential construction project? Do they possess a license?
You're asking if Louisiana Land Home,
Yes, that was
they
my
do not
question.
possess a license.
All right, no further questions.
Mr. Francione, do you have any questions for Mr. Lusko?
No.
No questions? Okay. Counsel, do you have any other witnesses?
No other witnesses.
Okay, Mr. Francione, you may make your statement. If you have any witnesses, you may call them to testify. If you want to testify on your behalf, you may do that. And once you make your statement, counsel may ask you some questions, and then the board may also ask you some questions, and then they'll make their determination as to the verdict of guilty or not guilty, and a penalty if there is one. Okay?
Thank you. Good morning again. My name is Larry Francione, and I'm here today representing Francione Builders LLC as both the qualifying party and the manager of the company. I'm also appearing as the president of the Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation. First, I would like to thank the members of this board for being here today. I recognize that your service reflects a true commitment to better government and better contracting within the state of Louisiana, and that such commitment comes not only with personal time, but also with financial sacrifice. I would like also to thank the entire staff of the Louisiana Licensing Board for Contractors, including its investigators, for their dedication to protecting the citizens of this state through fair enforcement and by promoting higher standards in construction practices. I appear before you today on behalf of both companies regarding allegations that I believe to be completely incorrect. These allegations assert that Francione Builders LLC hired a company that did not hold a required Louisiana contractor's license, and that Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation performed work requiring such a license. I maintain these charges are invalid. According to Louisiana Revised Statute 37-2158A1, LA Revised Statute 37-2158A6, and the rules of the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors, Article 133A. There's no language, explicit or implied, that prohibits or limits the actions taken by either Francione Builders LLC or Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation. Here are the facts. Francione Builders LLC hired Louisiana Home and Land Development solely to process payments. At no point did Louisiana Home and Land Development perform, manage, supervise any activity that meets the statutory definition of contracting as outlined in LA Revised Statute 37-2158A6 or in Article 133A of the board's rules. When you carefully examine these provisions and remain within the four corners of the statute and rules, the definition of a contractor is clearly and narrowly defined. Nothing should be inferred, assumed, or expanded beyond what is actually written in the law. To illustrate, a contractor's license is not required to clean a contractor's office. A contractor's license is not required to provide legal or accounting services to a contractor. In many residential construction projects, banks and lending institutions pay subcontractors and material suppliers directly, bypassing the general contractor entirely. In a similar manner, Louisiana Home and Land Development's role was strictly limited to processing payments presented by Francione Builders LLC, nothing more. Therefore, it is my position that no violation of Louisiana contractors licensing law occurred. The first apparent violation for Francione Builders LLC, LA Revised Statute 37-2158A6, failure to comply with the provisions of this chapter or the rules and regulation promulgated pursuant thereto. Failure to comply with the provisions of this chapter or the rules and regulations promulgated pursuant thereto signifies that a person or entity has violated the laws regarding the laws or regulatory requirements set forth within the relevant chapter of the Louisiana Revised Statutes. Accordingly, each of these 19 subsections of LARS 37-2158A must be examined to determine whether a general failure to comply exists. Nowhere within LA Revised Statute 37-2158A does it state, imply, or establish that the provision of simplified accounting service constitutes a violation of this chapter or any rules or regulations promulgated pursuant thereto. Before examining the 19 subsections of LA 372158A, it is imperative to clarify the statutory definition of contractor. Under Title 37 of the Louisiana Revised Statutes, Chapter 24, Contractors, Part 1, General 2150.1 definitions, the law provides as follows. 4A, contractor means any person who undertakes to, attempts to, or submits a price or bids or offers to construct, supervise, superintend, oversee, direct, or in any manner assume charge of the construction, alteration, repair, improvement, demolition, putting up, tearing down, furnishing labor, or furnishing labor together with material, or installing material or equipment. With this statutory definition clarified, the examination of the 19 subsections of LA 372158A can proceed. 2158A provides that no person may be engaged in the business of contracting or act as a contractor as defined in this chapter unless he holds an active license as a contractor in accordance with the provisions of this chapter. The Board and Residential Subcommittee may revoke, suspend, or refuse to renew a license, issue cease and desist orders to stop work, issue fines and penalties, or debar any person or licensee licensed pursuant to the provisions of this chapter for any of the following violations. Only the following 19 defined violations dictate actions that would conclude that a person is engaged in the business of contracting. Number 1, there was no undertaking, attempting to, or submitting a price or bid, offering to construct, supervise, superintend, or oversee in any manner, assume charge of the construction, alteration, repair, etc. Number 2, there was no falsely representing, advertising regarding the person's license or status of clarification. Number 3, there was no dishonest or fraudulent act as a contractor which has caused damage to another as adjudged by a court of competent jurisdiction. Number 4, there was no bidding on, quoting, estimating, or performing a job for which a license is required. The licensee shall hold the classification for the majority of the work performed. Number 5, there was no misrepresentation of fact by an applicant obtaining a license, misrepresentation of fact by an applicant or licensee in providing information, statements, or documents to the staff or board, deception by omission, and providing false testimony to the board. Number 6, which was previously alluded to in the first apparent violation for Francione Builders, LLC. There was no failure to comply with the provisions of this chapter or the rules and regulations promulgated pursuant thereto. Number 7, there was no entering into a contract with an unlicensed contractor involving work or activity for the performance of which the license is required by this chapter. Number 8, there was no permitting the contractor's license to be used by another contractor when the other contractor does not hold a license for the classification for which the work is entered. Number 9, there was no failure to maintain a qualifying party to represent the licensee. Number 10, there was no failure to continue to fulfill any of the requirements for the original licensor. Number 11, there was no problems relating to the ability of the contractor, its qualifying partner, or any of its principal owners or principal shareholders to engage in the business of contracting as demonstrated by their contracting business history or experience. Number 12, there was no disqualification or debarment by any public entity. Number 13, there was no failure to notify the board of any change in corporate name, company name, address of the licensee, or any other contract information as required. Number 14, there was no assisting a person to circumvent the provisions of this chapter. Number 15, There was no failure of a contractor performing residential or home improvement construction in accordance with this chapter to provide in writing to the party with whom he is contracted to perform contracting services his name, contracting license number, classification, and current insurance certificates evidencing the amount of liability insurance maintained and proof of workers' compensation coverage when requested by the contracting party for whom the work is to be performed. Number 16, there was no abandoning or failing to perform without justification any contract or project engaged in or undertaken by any licensee, deviating from or disregarding plans or specifications in any material aspect without the consent of the owner. Number 17, there was no conviction of a crime or the entering of a plea of guilty of nolo contendere to a criminal charge under the laws of the United States or any other state related to the construction business involving dishonesty or causing physical harm or damages to another person. Number 18, there was no effort to deceive or defraud the public. Number 19, there was no violation for a mold remediation contractor. Therefore, Francione Builders LLC unequivocally denies this allegation and based on the written rules and regulations as defined in Article 133A, requests that this first apparent violation for Francione Builders LLC, LA Revised Statute 372158A6, failure to comply with the provisions of this chapter or the rules and regulations promulgated pursuant thereto be overruled and dismissed. The second apparent violation for Francione Builders LLC, Rules and Regulations, Article 133A. A person's licensed or registered by the board shall bid, contract, and perform work in the same name as it appears on the current license or registration in the official records of the licensing board for contractors. As documented in Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors Exhibit Number 2, only Francione Builders LLC bid, contracted, and performed the work in the name as it appears on the current license or registration and the official records of the Louisiana Board for Contractors. Therefore, Francione Builders LLC unequivocally denies this allegation and based on the written rules and regulations as defined in Article 133A, request that this second apparent violation for Francione Builders LLC, Rules and Regulations 133A, be overruled and dismissed. The first apparent violation for Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation, LA 372158.
Mr. Francione, that's going to be a
That's the
different
next case.
case. So
I'm
we're
sorry?
that's going to be a different matter. So we're going to take on Francione Builders LLC first, and then we'll handle Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation. You're welcome. So are you done with your statement for? Okay. Any questions, Mr. Landry?
Yes, let me ask this. Mr. Francione, did Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation make payments to Legacy Construction GNO LLC for work on the Francione construction project?
When you say, did they make payments, I'm not exactly sure what your definition of that is.
Did they write a check as payment to Legacy Construction GNO LLC?
On behalf of Francione Builders LLC, yes.
Okay, your position is that they wrote it on behalf of Francione, is that correct?
That they were hired by Francione to process accounting services only, yes.
And Legacy Construction, according to page 28 of the exhibit packet, performed roof replacement? Is that your understanding? Legacy Construction performed a roof replacement?
Yes.
And Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation paid Fleur de Lis LLC for work on that same construction project for which Francione Builders LLC entered into a contract to perform on a residential project. Is that correct?
In the same way the previous payment was made, yes.
And Fleur de Lis provided flooring for the property, is that correct?
Yes.
And Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation paid Leader Electric to perform electrical, that had performed electrical work on the project, is that correct?
In the same manner as was discussed before, yes.
All right. And so your position is that Louisiana Home and Land, I don't know why this keeps cutting out, Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation was a payment processor on behalf of Francione on this project?
I'm not sure what the legal definition of that is, but it seems correct.
All right. No further questions.
I do have a question. I do see Francione Builders LLC listed, but no residential license listed under Francione LLC. Is that
They
correct?
have a residential license. It's suspended for
It's
insurance.
suspended
Yes,
for
sir.
insurance. Okay.
When did it get suspended?
October 2nd.
Okay.
Any prior violations?
This is their first
That's the
violation.
First.
And if I may clarify, October 2nd, I was under anesthesia for a heart procedure. My insurance agent has been notified and forwarded the emails that I've gotten, and he is supposedly taking care of all of that.
Okay, you can please go ahead and get that addressed, but as it regards these pending charges, what's the board's pleasure? Any more questions? Mr. Fine, looks like you got something. Say again. Looks like you have something? No. Okay. Do you have any other statements, counsel?
Nothing further.
All right, what's the board's pleasure?
I think there's a lot of mitigating circumstances here regarding what happened, and I don't think it was, I would hope it wasn't intentional. I know somebody's acting there. I know that you've been in the business for a while and that you understand, and we heard all of your multiple comments about why not. I would tell you this, I think that maybe under the circumstances that although you feel that you are not violating the rule of law, that maybe you do a little better cleanup job on how you do it in the future, just so you don't end up back here again. You have no previous violations, I see that, and I'm going to move to dismiss at this point, only because of the fact that I don't think it was intentional, and I think that what you did was probably, by your interpretation of the law, not wrong, but it brought you here. So that's my rule.
In terms of discussion, by letter of the law, you need the contracting party to make the payments. That's a fact.
May I ask a question, and not to interrupt at all?
Yeah. So what I'm getting at is these contracts were written to Francione Builders, and you have another entity making the payments. Francione received the payments. Is that correct from the builder? I mean,
Correct.
from the owner. Francione needs to be paying the subcontractors.
May
So
I
it's a-
ask, just for the
Hold
future?
on 1 second.
I'm sorry.
To the extent that he's indicated that there was no intent, the law doesn't really require intent.
I agree.
So it looks like you might be getting a a little love here,
Wasn't
a
about the
little
intent,
early,
it
a
was
little
about
early
the
Christmas
requirement.
deal here. Was there a second to the motion?
Yes, I second the motion.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record reflect that I oppose.
Thank you.
I'd like to hear the question. Can we still hear the question?
Hold it.
I guess the question.
Wait, have y'all made a ruling? Have you?
They voted yes.
Okay, all right.
My question is, the law is very specific and long, as I just read, and thank you for listening. It doesn't say that another institution can't be hired to process payments. It doesn't say that. It says that the Louisiana Home can't do work. Work is defined by the contract agreement, which contains the scope of work. It doesn't say anywhere that I can see specifically that Louisiana Home can't do, Francione Builders can't do. If it said that, we wouldn't have done it. But I don't see, I don't want it to be, well, it could infer this, or it means that, because it can only mean what's written within the law. If the law needs to be changed, let's change it. But it doesn't say that you can't do it. Nowhere does it even indicate that. There's some general words out there, but nowhere does it say that you can't do that. Again, I alluded earlier in discussions that there's a bank in New Orleans that if I contract with owner A, Bank B pays the subcontractors and material suppliers directly. Now, it's been a couple of years since that particular one happened, but I would.
Mr. Francione, I don't want to get into argue, and I understand what you're saying here.
I'm just
However,
trying to answer his question.
I understand, but what ends up happening is, for instance, in this case, you are the owner of Louisiana. You are the owner of the payer. So you don't own the bank, and the bank that is paying is a completely separate entity that is processing. In this case, kind of the issue was, well, Mr. Francione, you own the construction company and you own this third party. There's the appearance that you are operating as a contractor without a license.
First
in
of
the
all,
two separate,
yeah.
I'm just telling you that
Okay,
that's why
Counsel and
it was there.
Mr. Francione, if you have your question to the board, ask your question. If not, then we're going to move on to the next case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you all.
Understand, sir, going forward that it's a violation, okay?
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. I appreciate your
And I just wanted
presentation.
to know where that violation occurs, and that was the only reason for this post-discussion. I understand that we've already ruled, and I appreciate it. I just wanted to know where.
Understand going forward that the entity that does the contracting and does the work needs to make the payment to the subcontractors. Is that fair? Thank you. And as a lawyer, I appreciated your presentation. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Well, so we do have the other case, and it's associated, so I assume you're going to handle it the same way?
I think, he's been sworn in and he's
He has been
qualified to
sworn.
speak. It seems to me as though we've been going through this exercise and if you want a futility if it's going to be a dismissal.
Okay, so we just have to call it. If you let us just go ahead and call it, and if y'all want to dismiss it, y'all can make the motion to dismiss.
Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation or any representatives present.
Mr. Francione, can you state your name and your affiliation with the company again?
Lawrence Larry Francione. I'm the president of Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation.
Okay, and Mr. Francione has been sworn.
Okay, go ahead and just read what the violation is, and then they can make the decision on how to handle it.
Louisiana Home and Land Development Corporation of New Orleans, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for acting as a contractor to perform work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License at 11 South Park Place, New Orleans, Louisiana, in the amount of $183,750.
Okay, so I'll just submit to the board staff that it'll be it's pretty much the same evidence if we were going to submit it. I know you've already kind of reviewed what you want to go ahead and make your motions.
Move to dismiss.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record reflect that I oppose. Thank you, sir. Next case.
Thank you for your time.
Suarez Painting, Carpentry, Drywall, and More, LLC, or any representatives present.
Sir, can you state your name and your affiliation with the company?
Yeah, I'm the owner. Orlin Alexis Moreno Suarez is my name.
Okay, Mr. Suarez, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
And can you speak into the microphone for me when you do speak?
I do.
Thank you.
Suarez Painting, Carpentry, Drywall, and More, LLC of Bossier City, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for acting as a contractor to perform work without possessing a Louisiana State Contractor's License at 425 Dalzell Street, Shreveport, Louisiana, in the amount of $17,170.
Mr. Suarez, how would you like to plead to the alleged violation?
Not contest.
No contest? Okay.
Move to accept.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Show no contest plea accepted.
Call John Eatman.
Ms. Eaton has been sworn.
Mr. Eatman, in front of you, exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular and ordinary course of business or licensing board for contractors for this matter?
Yes, sir, they were.
We offer the exhibits into the record.
Mr. Suarez, have you had an opportunity to review the documents that he's referring to?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any objection to the documents being entered into the record?
I just want to explain a little bit about why this happened.
You can explain after counsel puts on his case, and then you'll be able to make your statement. But do you have any objection to the documents? No. Okay, no objection. The exhibits are admitted.
Mr. Eatman, according to your investigation and these documents, it appears that Suarez Painting, Carpentry, Drywall, and More, LLC, performed work on a residential construction project in the total amount of $17,170. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, it is.
And that the time was not licensed with this board to perform that work. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, no further questions.
Okay, Mr. Suarez, do you have any questions for Mr. Eatman?
No.
No questions? Okay. Counsel, any more witnesses or questions?
No additional witnesses.
Okay, Mr. Suarez, you may make your statement. If you have any testimony or documents that you want to admit as well, you may do that. The board may have questions for you, and then they will make their decision on a penalty if there is one.
Okay.
You can go ahead.
Yeah, the only reason this happened is because when I was getting my certificate, nobody explained me about that I got a cost limit, in every one job. So that's why this happened. I didn't know.
Do you understand now?
I understand now because he already explained me
Okay.
about everything, how it's going.
Calculated.
But
Has he applied for a license, Ms. Morgan? I missed that part.
Not that I find, no, sir.
Are you going to continue doing work of this type?
not right now. I'm working for some other company now, but I'm planning to go back to California. I'm not going to continue with this in this way. Like I said, he told me I got to get my contractor license from here.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to do.
So if you desire to continue, understand that you need to get the appropriate licensing, okay?
Yeah.
All right, is that all?
So
What's the board's pleasure?
Good job.
This was first violation.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a move to find him guilty.
He already pled no
pled no
contest.
contest.
Okay. With a zero penalty and $1,000 hearing cost.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
thank you.
Don't let this run you out of the state, man.
All right.
Lakeview Construction and Development, LLC, or any representatives present?
Can you state your name and your affiliation with the company, sir?
Peter Smith, I'm the owner.
You're the owner?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Smith, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Lakeview Construction and Development, LLC of New Orleans, Louisiana is before you today for consideration of an alleged violation for permitting the contractor's license to be used by another contractor when the other contractor does not hold a license for the classification of work at 6449 Avenue B, New Orleans, Louisiana, the amount of $339,000.
Mr. Smith, how would you like to plead to the alleged violation?
No contest.
Okay.
Move to accept.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Should a no contest plea accepted?
Call Stephanie Belanger.
Ms. Belanger has been sworn.
Ms. Belanger, in front of you, exhibits number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Were they prepared in the regular and ordinary course of business of a licensing board for contractors for this matter?
They were.
We'll offer the exhibits into the record.
Mr. Smith, have you had a chance to review the documents?
I have.
Do you have any objection to the documents being entered into the record?
No.
No objection. The exhibits are admitted.
Ms. Belanger, according to the documents, it appears that Lakeview Construction and Development, LLC, or Mr. Peter Smith, pulled a permit to perform work at 6449 Avenue B, is that correct?
That's correct.
And the value of that contract was $339, is that correct? $339,000, is that correct?
That's correct.
And did Lakeview perform the work on the project, or Mr. Peter Smith perform the work?
I'm unsure if Lakeview did any work on the project. Somebody else got paid to do the work, or somebody else made the payments to the subs.
So that was PJD
Correct.
actually paid all the subs or hired the subs, is that correct?
Correct.
As opposed to Lakeview and Mr. Smith, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, no further questions.
Mr. Smith, do you have any questions for Ms. Belanger?
No.
All right, counsel, any further questions on witnesses?
No.
Mr. Smith, you may provide a statement to the board or offer any evidence that you may have, and then they will make their decision. If they have any questions, they'll ask questions, and they will make their decisions on a penalty, if any.
Okay. Good morning, and thank you for your time. I just wanted to state that in this particular instance, I was trying to help a friend. I helped him with the build. He was making the payments. I've been at this for 20 years. I had no idea what I was doing was incorrect, and as soon as Ms. Belanger got in touch with us, we complied. I got my attorney involved, and I just asked the board to be as lenient as humanly possible. And I cut all ties with Mr. Dufour as soon as I discovered, or as soon as Ms. Belanger got in touch with us. I believe he has applied for his license and is waiting for testing, but he and I are not involved in any way whatsoever, and that's it. And I apologize, and I respect your decision.
Okay, I appreciate your candor. As a rule, do you understand the violation?
Absolutely.
I don't imagine we'll see you with a similar violation going forward.
Absolutely
Would
not.
you like to make an offer to the board?
What's up there looks nice. For those other no
Was that
contest offers.
$339,000?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. I was looking more at the settlement offers that I've been staring at for the last hour.
So is that a $1,000 fine and a $1,000 administrative hearing cost?
That would be lovely, Mr. Joseph. Thank
Okay. Anybody? We have a motion to accept that?
I'll move to accept.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Show the motion carried. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you very much for your time.
Under settlement offers, staff submits the following settlement offers for consideration. Tibbs Remodeling Company LLC, that case number should be 2025-114001. They're offering a no contest plea, $1,000 fine plus $1,000 costs. Tailor Made Services Roofing, Inc., case number 2025-135701. They're offering a no contest plea, $1,000 fine plus $1,000 costs. Augusta and Rega, doing business as Rega LLC, case number 2025-028601. They're offering a no contest plea, $1,000 fine plus $1,000 costs. Todd's Renovations and Repairs LLC, case 2025-130801. They're offering a no contest plea, $1,000 fine plus $1,000 costs.
And we'll go ahead and offer the exhibit packets related to all four of those cases to be submitted into the record.
Okay, is anyone present on behalf of any of those companies? Let the record reflect that no one is present on behalf of the companies in the settlement offers. Exhibits are admitted.
Submit the settlement offers for consideration.
And bear in mind, these are in global settlement offers.
They are for each individual case.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Move to accept. Second.
We have a motion and a motion and a second to accept all the settlement offers referencing item E of the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Show the settlements accepted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Statutory citations.
All citations have been paid.
We submit offer into the evidence MK Red Build LLC, case number 2025-0595-01. All exhibits related to that into the record. And also Vincent Enterprises Inc. LLC, Inc. 2025-0520-01. We offer those exhibits into the record.
Okay. Exhibits for off statutory citations are admitted.
Submit the citations for consideration.
We have a motion by Ms. Doty and a second by Travis. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Show the statutory citations accepted. Thank you very much.
Move to adjourn.